Well, it was interesting hearing about all of HPE's ProLiant line, the new line. I think the most interesting thing I did not realize, because I've kind of been out of the server game for a minute, about the quantum regulations that have already come out. And I definitely didn't know. I figured they were looking at like 2030 to get these regulations established. Basically, the idea being that from a security standpoint, that your server by 2030 had to be completely ready for a quantum environment. And now they pulled that to 2027, which is 2 years from now, which from a server manufacturing process is crazy. Usually server manufacturing takes 7 to 10 years. They start like all the way back then. So it sounds like HPE knew in what was coming, and they were already working on the most important ones, which were up at the top, the important top line items that were up at the top. And I think what it'll probably be more than that. There's probably this 2-year time frame-ish, and I think the time frame is for specifically people that are doing work with the federal government.
Yeah.
Right? So they probably have seen this coming, and they probably had already done the due diligence for, okay, what do we need to do by 2030 to get this ready? And now what'll happen is I think the server vendors will make a bunch of money in the short term, because it sounds like there's physical things. And and this is just me guessing because I haven't read the regulations, but there's got to be things that have software fail stop, kind of to hold them over for the next 2 years. But yeah, I think it's going to be that race to, okay, let's go install these new servers, and they probably already had this planned out when they wanted to do it for a big server refresh. Mm-hmm. So now they'll just have to make sure the refresh lies within those parameters and timelines. Everybody else thinks it's boring. I do not. I'm very interested in how they do the management, especially maybe if it's GreenLake. I don't know how they do the management and what's the underlying things. So how are they actually doing the automation? Is it Ansible? Is it, some other kind of custom automation stuff? So that'll be interesting. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the AI discussion, which I have a feeling is going to be all NVIDIA, which, so it's okay. But I loved them showing the smaller footprint servers.
Yeah, the DL130, 140.
Right, because if you're a small organization, if you're a small business, that's perfect. If you get a cluster, you get a little rack, have everything in it.
Yeah.
That just seems like such a good prospect for smaller organizations, are giving you something, at least if you want to try to do some development on premises and in use with the cloud, do it. But I just don't, I want to hear let's talk about real AI stuff that we're calling it AI now, but before we called it machine learning and deep learning, right? I don't need a GPU for some of that stuff, but it's still critical, and does critical things. So let's talk about, what the servers are doing now. And if it needs a GPU, okay, that's fine, but lots of stuff doesn't. We should start talking about that.